Else statements in Python. How to use else statements in Python. The else statement is used in Python for decision making. Decision making is required when we want to execute a code only if a certain condition is satisfied. Examples of else statements are: if 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, print correct, else print wrong. Else statements exercise in Python. Write a Python program that asks the user about the number of sides in a shape. If the user enters 3, the program should return that's a triangle. But if the user enters 4, the program should return that's a quadrilateral. Otherwise, the program should print shape not available. Let's get started. First of all, we have to ask the user about the number of sides in a shape that they're thinking of. So here we'll create a variable called shape, or number of sides. Okay? And we'll set that equal to an integer because we want the answer to be in number form. int is a short form of integer. Next we'll put 2 pairs of parentheses, and in the first one we'll write input because we want the user to input their number. And inside of the second set of parentheses, we'll put our prompt. Our prompt is basically the question that we're going to ask them. So, in quotes, let's write enter the number of sides in a shape. And let's give them a number from 1 to 5. Okay? Now if we run this program, here it'll ask us to enter the number of sides in a shape. So from 1 to 5, let's enter 4. After entering the number 4, the program gives us nothing because we didn't write any line of code after this over here, after asking them for the number of sides. Now we have to see if the user enters 3 or 4, and if the user enters 3, the program should return that's a triangle. But if the user enters 4, the program should return that's a quadrilateral. So on the next line, we're going to write if the user enters 3. So if the number of sides is equal to 3, don't forget to put the colon when you're writing an if statement. And when you press enter, it'll automatically indent the next line. Or you can press the tab key on your keyboard to get the indent. Okay. So now we're going to write that if the number of sides is equal to 3, we have to print that's a triangle. Here, I'm basically telling the program that if the number of sides is equal to 3, if the user enters 3 over here, then it should print that's a triangle in the terminal. But what if the user enters 4? We'll use another if statement for that. So if number of sides is equal to 3 and 4. Forget to put the colon, and when you press enter, the program will automatically put an indent, or you can press the tab button on your keyboard. So if the number of sides is equal to 4, the program should print that's a quadrilateral. This if statement is saying if the number of sides, or whatever the user inputs over here, is equal to 4, then the program should return that's a quadrilateral. But what if the user enters any other number than 3 and 4? Let's say they input 1, 2, or 5. Here we'll use an else statement. So else, otherwise, basically means the program has to print shape not available. So this else statement is saying if the number of sides is not equal to 3 or 4, then the program has to print shape not available. Let's try out the program. Enter the number of sides in the shape. Let's say we enter 2. It says shape not available. If we enter 4, the program will say that's a quadrilateral. And this is how you can use else statements in Python programs.